Cowboys name. Back to the show. My name is Rika, jam session. With me, as always, my DJ, my co-host, giant pain in my ass, Mr. Charlie Moffat. How you doing, Charlie?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Oh, you are ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Hey, everybody, make sure to say hey in the chat. Stephen White, good to see you. And if you haven't already, do us a favor, hit that like button and hit the subscribe, ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time that we go live. I don't know why you'd want to, but hey, maybe do it anyway. Who knows? All right. Before we get started, let's take care of a little business. Listen up, kids. TwistedGorilla.com is the best place online to get t-shirts. They've got funny t-shirts, sarcastic t-shirts, but most importantly, y'all, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So head to TwistedGorilla.com. Let them know that you're a fan of the Cowboys, you're a fan of Rika, and that you hate Charlie Moffat, and save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code Rika15. And that website, that coupon code, and the ticker right down there. So who do we got? Jack and Angie Meeker. Jack Meeker, thank you so much for coming in. Thanks for the share today on Twitter and Facebook. Appreciate it. And we already said hello to Steven. He's here. He's got weed. He's a happy guy. All right. So, Charlie, what do you want to do first? We got a schedule to talk about. We got some little bit of rookie mini camp stuff. Not much. There's never much you hear out of that thing anyway. I want to talk about the jersey numbers. What do you want to do first?
I'm trying to figure out what this means.
What means? We look similar, Charlie.
You must
I think
be
he
a
means. I think he means you look stoned.
You must be a good-looking motherfucker then. You're a one sexy bitch.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Whatever you want to do, you start talking. I mean,
all right. All right. Hey, you know what? Let's talk about these jersey numbers real quick. And if we get some more live viewers in later, we might pivot, swing back around to this. I want to tell you guys about this. Let's take a look. Okay, so we've got rookies choosing their numbers. Happens every year. It's not that big of a deal. First round draft pick, Tyler Smith took number 73. But if you look, our second round pick, Mr. Sam Williams, has taken number 54. Listen up, guys. Inflation is a real bitch. If you want to save a little bit of coin, dig through the closet, pull out that irrelevant Jaylen Smith jersey. It was irrelevant when you bought it, and it's even more irrelevant right now. Head over to Twitter, find at Stitch and Switch, and I put it up here on the top of the screen at Stitch and Switch. They are a really neat company. You can link to their website in their Twitter bio. You send them your jersey. You tell them what name you want on the back of it. They're going to pull off that Smith patch. They're going to put on a Williams patch for you. Fraction of the cost of a brand new jersey. Save yourself some coin. Go check out Stitch and Switch. They do a great job. And I am not afraid to wear a repatch jersey. You think I didn't turn Miles Austin into Amari Cooper here a couple years ago? You are dead ass wrong because I did it. So we got that. And Charlie, you had some slides ready. I think we're going to go through this schedule. We're going to talk about it a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. There are some things I definitely do not like about this schedule. And I'm ready to tell it. I'm ready to say it.
Yeah, I know. I've been waiting for this.
You've just been on pins and needles waiting to hear what I'm going to say about this stupid schedule. Okay, well, let's go through this thing. Week 1, you got Tampa Bay. It's a redo of last year's week 1. I'm fine with that. Week 2, you got the Bengals. And here's the thing. You got 2 really hard teams back-to-back to start off this season. And then you're going on the road against a division rival. If it was any other game on the road right there that wasn't a division game, I wouldn't care so much about that. but you're putting us up against two of the better teams in the NFL and then sending us on the road for a division game. I don't like that very much. So after that, you got Washington. That's fine. Then you're going to play the Rams in Los Angeles. Great. And I don't have a problem with that, except for this. The very next week, you got to fly your damn asses all the way across the country to play Philly in that trap house that they call a stadium. So you've got games back to back on two different coasts. Again, one of them is a friggin' division game. That's got me cheesed. The Lions and the Bears at home, awesome. Bye week. Two back to back road games after the bye week. I'm fine with that. However, what I don't like is that you got two back to back road games all the way up at the border of Canada practically. And then that short week, only 4 days before you go into Thanksgiving. And we're used to that. It happens to us every year. We always play on Thanksgiving, but it's a division game on Thanksgiving. It's the New York Giants. So two road games, one of which I think we're going to lose, to have a short week to go up against a division rival. Hate that. Colts at home, Texans at home, fine. Jacksonville on the road, love it. The weather's going to be great. The rest of this schedule is fine. I don't have a problem with the rest of that schedule, but I hate the way that they have us going before these two New York games and before that first Philly game. I'm not particularly pleased about that. I'm not going to spend too much time bitching about it because there's nothing I can do. So we're just going to, deal with it, but whatever. Who we got? DJ Dog. Thank you for joining us. Always good to see you. All right, Charlie, we'll start the thing. Week 1.
Yeah, I don't really mind the schedule.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, I don't like the two road games before the Thanksgiving Day game, but we also get a bye week before that starts too, so I'm okay with that. And we actually get 3 bye weeks this year. You get your bye week, and you have 2. Then you have another
Like
bye
2
week.
mini buys.
Yeah, you get another basically bye week after the Thanksgiving Day game. Then you get another bye week before the last game of the year. So I mean, I don't like the 3 out of 4 on the road to start the season. Not to start, but starting the third game on, and the 3 out of 4 on the road the last part of the year. But they're not the last part of the year. They're not really tough games. They're not really. I mean,
No, definitely not.
I believe Jacksonville is one of them and shit. But
yeah, Jacksonville and then the Eagles. And of course, we lose a day that week before our second game against the Eagles. It's another short week for us. We're going to have to play them on Saturday because Christmas is on Sunday. It's not that I don't like this. I like all the teams that we're playing. It's not that I don't like the schedule. I just don't like the way that our division games are set up. We've got some hurdles, so a few obstacles in front of some of those division games. That's what had me like a little pissed off. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Cry and bitch about it.
Cry and bitch about it. Hey, we're Cowboys fans. That's what we do.
That's what most of y'all do.
Stephen White's not worried about any of those cheese balls.
No, overall, our schedule. I mean, we got tough games. We got back-to-back Tampa and Cincy. Then you got Green Bay. That's going to be a tough one. Rams is going to be a tough one. I mean, you got tough ones, but when you play our division, you got 6 games in our division that's with 5 of them being very winnable. Like, we should go no worse than 4-2 in the division. And I want to say what I'm picking this because it's going to, I want y'all to wait and see. But yeah, I'm not worried about our division.
No, it's fine. I just feel like they made it unnecessarily.
I mean, shit happens. I mean, anything can happen. We can have injuries. We can just have one of the fucked up years. Another team in our division come out of nowhere, like fucking. How in the fuck did that happen? Like it kind of happened to us in 2003. We went 5-11, 3 straight years. Parcells came in. We had Quincy Carter as a quarterback, and we won. And we went 10-6. I don't think we won the division, but we went 10-6. So that was unusual. That was a shocking year. We played above our heads that year. We wasn't as good as what we looked. Our defense was though. So, anyways, we'll go through the schedule. I got a slideshow set up. Just let everybody fucking know. It took me 5.5 fucking hours to do this. I was up to fucking 3 o'clock this morning doing this shit. So appreciate it. Tell me thank you. Tell
Thank
me
you,
how great it
Charlie.
looks.
That's awesome. You're the
Yeah.
best slideshow maker
Man, that
ever.
shit ain't worth it. Man,
Got
it's
a
a pain in my
picture of
ass.
you on there giving the
I was
finger,
asking
but
my
whatever.
old co-host for Dallas Uncensored show, Eric. He did one last year, and he told me how he did it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I didn't know he went through all that trouble. I actually did it easier than he did it, an easier way, and it still took me fucking 5 hours to do. I was shocked on how he did it. I was really surprised.
Mm.
I was actually impressed. Real quick before we get going, I asked him, "Who did you steal it from?" I thought he stole the tabs from some. I thought he like just took a schedule and snippeted the little tabs out each individual one. And he
Mm-hmm.
told me what he did. He goes, yeah. And then he asked me, he goes, who did I steal it from? Thanks for the compliment. I'm like, goddamn, dude, I didn't know you put that much effort into it. I mean, I felt bad now because he put all that time into it. But yeah, he did a good job. I always assumed he stole the tabs.
Yeah.
I
Hey,
always thought he just,
Tavis. Good to see you.
I always thought he just took a fucking snippet out of somebody's schedule and just put it on ours, but he
Yeah,
didn't.
just slapped it on there.
He did the whole thing himself. I was impressed.
Oh, impressive, Eric.
But anyways,
Impressive.
at Tampa Bay, I got it as a W.
Me too.
Uh, I mostly because it's home. Uh, I think it'll be another good game. I think it'll be similar to last year. I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
the as we get closer, people's going to say the same thing they did last year. We gotta run the ball, especially this year. They're like, oh, pass the ball didn't work last year, so we got to run the ball. And I'll go ahead and say it before everybody starts saying it. You don't play a high-powered offense like Tom Brady with another high-powered offense like you have, and think the best way to beat them is not to use your best assets. That's not how you win a game. You don't go in if you have an offense that's not high-powered and it is a controlled top run offense, then yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. But when you have Dak and have our weapons, and yes, we still have weapons. And when you have that, no, you don't say, well, let's do something inefficient for the whole game in hopes that it keeps Tom Brady and them off the field. That's not how you play football in 2022. If you have an offense like ours, you did what you did last year. Tom Brady had to do Tom Brady shit last year to win that game. So and if he does Tom Brady shit to win this game, and that's fine too. But you don't try to keep him off the field by keeping your guys off the field by not taking advantage of your weapons. That's a. I mean, I can sit here and try to think of a nice way of saying it, but it's fucking stupid. That's not how you play football.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I mean, obviously, we're going
I
through
mean,
this.
my
We're
thing is,
making
me and
some.
Marcus was saying this last year. Do you think Tom Brady and Tampa Bay fans are coming in Dallas saying, hey, man, we need to keep Dak and them off the field. They got a high-power offense. Let's run the ball. Fuck no. You're not going to do that. That's not how that fucking works. Do you think anybody does that? Do you think Patrick Mahomes and them go into a fucking game thing? Hell, we need to run the ball to keep that up. No, you take your assets and you use your fucking assets. So, anyways, that's my rant. But anyways, I got it for a dub. I think it'll be a
Yeah.
revenge game. I think our defense will actually be probably defense. They're not sustainable from year in and year out. So but I think we will be better. I'm not so sure we'll get the turnovers we did last year, but I think we'll improve on other things to compensate for maybe the lack of turnovers. And I'm not saying the lack of turnovers that we're not going to get any. I mean, compared to last year, like Diggs, he's not getting double-digit interceptions again. If he does, I'll apologize, but I'm pretty sure, just right off the top of my head, nobody in the NFL history ever got double-digit interceptions. It's rare people get eight or more a year for 2 years straight. It doesn't happen often. So
Yeah. I mean, obviously tonight, it's new. It's only been a couple days. We haven't seen these teams yet with additions that they've made, rookies and free agents. And so closer to the start of the season, we'll definitely look at this again and maybe make some adjustments. These are when I gave you my answers, Charlie, it was just kind of gut. And I went with a win. Part of my brain was thinking, well, in 2021, if Tampa Bay didn't have Antonio Brown, we would have won that game. But then again, Tampa Bay may be looking at it saying, hey, you know what? If the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have had Amari Cooper, then maybe they wouldn't have got as close to us as they did. I mean, you always have those ifs and ands in there. So them not having Antonio Brown may not even play into it at all. Um, but yeah, I think it's going to be very close again. It's going to be the same situation as last year, where if it's within one score and it comes down to just whoever had the ball last and they play well in every phase of the game, even if they lose, I'm not going to be upset. But I think this year it's going to be our turn. We're going to get that win, very narrow margin, very good game to start the season. So that's where I'm at on
And
that.
like I said, yeah, and they're missing Godwin. Godwin's ain't on. He's not going to play in that game
Hmm.
from injury and shit like that. So yeah, no, I think we got it. And like I said, we went toe to toe with them last year uh, at their house. So
Yeah.
I think we'll get it.
Home
I
field
think we.
advantage always helps.
And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be a shootout again. So it's going to be an interesting game. It'll be a good game. But I got that one as a dub.
All right, let's go to the next one.
Oh yeah. Raka, you got it as an L, so you go first.
You know what? I took a look at this as, you know what, two really tough teams starting out this season. We're going to have to fight hard in week one. Some of the younger players are still going to be working out some kinks. I feel good about the fact that we have, almost the entire, if not the entire coaching staff returning, and we've got most of our starters returning, but there's always some little kinks along the way. I feel Cincinnati had a really good team last year. Think that they're gonna. I think Cincinnati's gonna take the win on this one, but it's not gonna be a slaughter. It's not gonna be just a, all out ass whipping. It's gonna be hard fought, but I think they get us in week two. I don't see us with the win on that one unless Cincinnati just shits the bed. But that early in the season, I don't think they're going to.
I got this one as a dub too. I almost put it as an L because I have Tampa Bay as a dub. So I thought maybe some lack of focus that week. Coming off a big win against fucking Tampa Bay. Because this is a revenge game. Make no bones about it. The Cowboys want this game against Tampa Bay. So I thought maybe there'll be like a little bit of letdown, but it's at home, and I think we'll pull. I think we'll pull another W out on this one.
Okay.
And not that we're a great home team or anything, but I always favor the home teams, whether it's our schedule or somebody else's schedule. More times than not, I'm going to give dubs at home, and most of the losses are going to be on the road. It never works out that way, but that's how I do it.
All right, next. Who we got? Yes. The New York Football Giants. I mean, I gotta say, when this one's on the road, I think we sweep New York this year. I'll go ahead and say it. Um, they've obviously made a lot of big changes since last season, but until they get a new quarterback, at least, and they got a few other problems, I don't see anything improving in New York. Um, they're so busy fighting each other during practice, they're not going to have time to prepare for us. So, yeah. New York, week 3, big win on the road. Charlie, what do you think?
Excuse me. During the draft, when everybody's talking about how great the Eagles are and how great of a draft, I should say, I said it before, until them teams get a quarterback, I'm not worried about any of our NFC rivals. Now, here later, you might say, then why did you do this? But I'll explain that at that time.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm not worried about it. With that said, weird shit happens in fucking divisional games. I've said this before. I've always used this one. It's been more than this, just this one. But I distinctly always remember in 95, we lost 4 games. 2 of them was against the Washington Redskins. Back then, they was the Redskins. So half our losses was against a team. I believe they was 6-10 that year. So 1/3 of their win, or 2/3 of their 1/3, whatever that is, was against us. So weird shit happens. It always can happen. But they're not a good team. They ain't got a good quarterback. I do like their head coach, their new head coach. I do like him, but he has a lot of work to do. Their offensive line, I'm not impressed with. Quarterback, I'm not impressed with. The wide receiver core, I'm not impressed with. The defense, yeah, I'm not worried. They just don't concern me. And on the road or at home. But again, weird shit happens. So, losing against a rival, NFC rival, never surprises me, pisses me off, but it never surprises me when weird shit happens like that. That's why I've always said, most people always say get the dub no matter what. It doesn't matter. I'm not quite that way, but for division games, I am. It could be a 3-0 game or a 42-40 game. I don't give a shit. Get the W, get the fuck out of there, and go to the next game. So, because sometimes them games get weird and they get ugly. But I got it as a dub.
Same. Yeah, Washington, I don't think has made any kind of great strides to improve over the team that they were last year. I was in the stadium on December 26th. I watched the ass whipping they received with my own eyes, no television, no Troy and Joe yapping in my ear the whole time. Uh, that should be an easy win at home for us.
And I agree with Steve. They have got better, but we kicked the fucking hell out of all of them. Well, out of the Eagles twice, but one of the time is against our backups. I get that. Mm-hmm. We, even playing bad, we still beat Washington in the first game. And then we beat the shit out of them the second game. And Giants never was what the first game beat the shit out of. The second game was kind of a weird game. But like I said, I don't know if they improved that much. But like I said, dropping 2 of them, I can see that. But we'll show you that later as we go. But I got this one as a dub too.
If any of these teams in our division improve this year, it's going to be later in the division. I mean, later in the division, later in the year, later in the schedule, whenever their improvements start to roll around.
Yep. On to the next one.
Loss.
Yeah, me and Rocky agreed on this one. I got it as an L, partially because I have us as a 4, starting off 4-0. We're going to their house, a West Coast trip. They're a fucking good team. They just won the Super Bowl. So, I mean, I can't pick us to win all of them. So I got to, there's going to be some games we lose. So this one I thought was the first one that I thought we had the best chance of losing. Maybe Cincinnati too. But like I said, we're 4-0 at this point. Going in LA and losing LA is not the end of the world. Like I said, 4-game winning streak. Eventually you ain't going to win them all. So, I don't like the matchup, but it'll still be a good game. It's a lot like last year. I don't think there's any team out there that we can't beat. I'm not scared of any team. Like it's not no match. I'm like, man, I really don't want to play that team. Mm-hmm. Because I think with us, we can beat any of them. But I mean, we're already going to lose some games. So this one's one of the one I had as an L this year. Oh.
All right. Week 6 in the trap house. I will tell you, I am concerned about the coast to coast that week before, like I said at the beginning of the show. LA one Sunday, Philly the next, and both on the road. So, yeah, I don't think this win is going to be as easy as that week 3 win that we had against Philly last season. But I still think that we get the W on this one. Early in the season, not a whole lot of injuries. We should be able to tackle that one and overcome that jet lag. What do you think, Charlie?
I got this one as an L. Again, going to the West Coast, going back to the East Coast. It's on the road. Typically, every year when I make my predictions for division games, I go home, win at home, lose away. There'll be years where we're so much better than the other team. I have them sweeping each team. I think Philly is probably the best team in the division after us.
Yeah.
So on the road, and they're going to be hyped up for that game at their house because we dominated the shit out of them. I think it'll be a big for them.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see us going in there and taking the L on that one. Uh, like I said, you're not going to win all of them. Uh, very seldom am I going to pick us to sweep the division. I did last year, and we did sweep it. I think I did. I might have had us losing one last year too. But yeah, typically every year, normal years, it's usually 3-3, 4-2. Uh, this year's a little different, but yeah, I think 4-game winning streak. You go to LA, you lose, you got to travel to the West Coast next against a division rival that's going to be hyped up for this game. Big home crowd. It's a fucking Sunday night game, prime time. I think, yeah, I think it's probably going to be more important to them than it is us. Not that it's not going to be important to us, but I think they're going to put more emphasis on it. So
Okay.
that's why I got it, though. The next week is the Lions, week 7,
Lions.
on my birthday.
Yes, it is. And
Uh,
I
Stephen
I
White said
agree.
earlier
Yeah,
that it
with
was going to
Travis and
be,
Steven.
yeah, I think it's going to be tough.
Mhm.
It's one of the things I think about every year, there's always that team that has sucked the year before or sucked for 10 years before. And they make some moves, and everybody's like, this is it. This is not their year to go to Super Bowl, but they're going to be tough. And more times than not, it doesn't turn out that way. They pretty much the same fucking team they were the year before. I think they got a young team. They still have the same quarterback in golf. So I think they'll be better because they played tough last year. They lost a lot of heartbreakers last year. And I love Dan Campbell as a coach. But I still think we're the better team, and it's not really, to me, that close. But they do fight for their coach. They do play hard. So in that sense, yes, I don't think it's going to be an easy game. But I think we'll win by double digits. I think it'll be a 10-point game or more. But I think they will fight.
Yeah. I like the Lions. I always say they're kind of my number 2 team. If the Cowboys cease to exist, who would I root for in the NFL? It'd be the Lions, if for no other reason than because everything in my house is already blue and silver. So making that transition would be easy. But also, I've always kind of liked the Lions a little bit, because Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley. How can you not, love Axel Foley? And he's a Lions fan. Um, I also like the fact that they're they've got Sheila Firestone Hamp over there. She's their owner. She took over from her mom. I believe she's acting as GM right now. I could be wrong about that. They may have hired a new general manager, but I love seeing a woman in charge of an NFL team. I think that she's made a lot of moves over the last 2 seasons. She's working hard to pull them up, make them a better team, build a legacy in Detroit, and maybe try to get a Super Bowl. I hope that she does. So, yeah, I mean, I want the Lions to do well this season, but I think they take a loss against Dallas, but they're going to fight hard. It's not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. They're not going to let us roll over them.
It's a noon game, and I fucking love noon games. So I'm here for that. Next will be up the next week, another noon game. Thank you very much. Chicago Bears. I have this one as a W. They just don't got a good team.
No.
They did not. I've seen some people talking about their good draft. I don't. They gave that young quarterback nothing. That motherfucker's receiver. He don't have anybody really to throw to. So I can go into depth on this. We're going to win this game. It's just that they're not a good team. That's pretty much why I picked us to win. I don't see.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not going to say it's close because it's NFL and they all get paid, but yeah, I have no worries about this game. This might have been the easiest pick on my fucking schedule there was. I didn't. There wasn't no thinking about it. Next game will be, you got it as a dub too, for people who we got to remember that we're on Spotify and Apple now. So
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
we got
Not everybody can
no,
see the
yeah,
slide.
that's why I said I noticed that 2 times you've done that, and I'm like, I don't think she, I think she forgets we dropped this shit on Spotify and Apple.
Right.
And sometimes I didn't mention who the game was. So people who's
Mhm.
listening on there after we drop it on there, we apologize.
We'll
This is
get
the
better.
yeah, this
I
is
mean,
the
probably
first
not. That's not a
yeah,
promise. Don't hold me
this is the
to it.
first year that
We suck at what we do.
we've
But
done a
hey, we
peer
try.
podcast platform. So give us a break, and we'll get better as the year goes on. And we got the big bye week.
That's right. Lions and Bears
Bye
with
week. I
buys.
put
Oh
the bye
my.
week on there because I want to talk about. I think it came at a great time. I love the time of this bye week. It's basically
Yes.
halfway through the season. There's no perfect half
Mhm.
anymore because they put it at 17 games. But I think it's a good time to have a bye week because
Absolutely.
we're about to go back to back road games and Thanksgiving Day game, and you know shit's about to get nasty. So I think it came at a great time. Uh, I always want the bye week in the middle of the season. Or if I had a choice later towards the season, if I ain't gonna pick in the middle of the season. So it's all, but you can always argue afterwards where it should have came. Like if we have a bunch of injuries at the first of the season, then of course I'd rather my bye week be at the first of the season. If we have a bunch of injuries towards the end of the season, I'd rather it been at the end of the season. But without knowing neither one of them, I want my bye week somewhere right in the middle between week 7 and 10. Just put it somewhere in between there, and I'll be happy with it. So I thought this came at a good time.
Fair enough.
Sorry about that. All right, I had to do these in two separate slides because they wouldn't fit all in one.
Mhm.
There we go.
All right, Green Bay.
Green Bay. I got this as a W, and it's at Green Bay. A revenge game I talked about with us against Bucks, and I talked about one reason I picked us to lose against Eagles the first game was because of a revenge game. Just hyped up, and I think Mike McCarthy during the week is going to say the same thing all coaches, players say. It's not that. It's just another game. Bullshit. This motherfucker wants this game.
Yeah,
He wants this game, and I think the players like Mike. I know some people think the players don't. I think they do.
I think they do too.
And I think they're going to want to win it for him. That's
Mhm.
just like every other coach and every other front office person, every other assistant coach, every other player always gets the blame in Green Bay, and Aaron Rodgers never gets shit. I've never seen a fucking quarterback in my life that gets no blame on anything. Like 5 NFC championship games and failed at 4 of them. It's never his fault. Never. It's the coaches. It's the front office not getting his players. He don't have wide receivers. He ain't got this. He ain't got that. It's never his fucking fault. It amazes me how much defense that guy gets.
Right.
And Matt McCarthy kind of took uh, people say Green Bay's been better since he left. Yeah, and they went to 2 straight NFC championship games. Mike took him to 5 or 4, whatever he took him for. So it ain't like Mike was no slouch either. At some point, Aaron Rodgers needs to start kind of taking a little bit of blame of, you know, that it ain't everybody else's fault always. But I think this is a big game for Mike, and I think it's a big game for the Cowboys. And fucking hey, in fairness, they've owned us for the past few years. I mean, they since 2014, I think was the year.
Yeah.
I saw the other day on a stat. Yeah, they've pretty much owned us. We beat them in 2016 on the road
Yes.
during the season. But other
Mhm.
than that, they've pretty much owned our ass for the past 5 or 6 years. So this is a big game. I think we'll go up there and I think we'll get it. And people keep saying what's November. Look, I know it snows up there and shit. And I'm not gonna say it because my luck, I say this, there'll be a goddamn winter storm come through there. But November is cooler, but it's not like
Not
it's not a snow flurry up there. I mean,
right. It's not January or February. I don't expect
you
ice
don't really
cold
start seeing
pre
bad weather till
Thanksgiving.
December. Every once in a while, you'll see a late November game get some snow or get some bad weather, but for the most part, November 13th it'll be cooler. And hell might be in the 30s or 40s, but I think we'll be fine. I don't. Again, doesn't mean there's never been a fucking blizzard come through in November. I'm not saying that.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is it's November 13th isn't. If it was December, then I'd be like, shit, man, that was a bad time to get that game. Uh, but yeah, Rock has as a dub too for people listening
Oh,
on
absolutely. It's a W for me. I think that during that bye week, this is going to be one year where I'm not going to stress about players spending their bye week doing something stupid. I think that they're actually going to put in some focus. They want to win this for Mike McCarthy. I hope that they do. I want them to win this for Mike McCarthy. And I'm sick of Aaron Rodgers and his crap. Um, I never liked Green Bay. I never liked Rodgers after his shenanigans last season. I especially do not like Aaron Rodgers. And also, there's a person I work with who's a Green Bay fan, and I've kind of been talking a lot of shit. So I need the Cowboys to win this game. So so we got to
Yeah,
get that
Rodgers
W.
is a great quarterback, and when I say shit about him, I'm not taking anything away from him. I just this is what I have a problem with Rodgers and the fan base, and it's not just Green Bay fans, it's other fans too that defend him. They can go now I was about to say 13-3, but it's 13-4 nowadays. They can go 13-4, and nobody says shit about his weapons. They're the lead dog. They win the Super Bowl. They go to the Super Bowl. This is Aaron Rodgers' year. They're going to get back. Nobody's ever saying anything about his weapons. Nobody says shit. Then they get in the playoffs and lose, and everybody like, not Aaron Rodgers' fault. He don't have nobody to throw to. He doesn't have a team around him. Then where in the fuck was all that during the season when y'all was bragging on him how great he was and how this is their year? You know, you can't have it both ways. You can't give him all the fucking credit in the world for going 13-4 and then losing the playoffs and, well, it's not his fault. You know, at some point it has to become his fault, or not his fault. He has to take blame in some of it. You know, it's never nobody's complete fault. I mean, rarely does that happen, but I just don't understand the defense he gets. But anyways, I ain't gonna rant on him too much. On to the next game.
Yeah.
Next game, week 11, November 20th, Sunday on CBS at 3:25 will be the Minnesota Vikings. I got this as a dub. It's always a tough game in Minnesota. But we beat them the 2020 with Andy Dalton. Then we beat them again last year with Numbnuts.
With Stephen White's guy, Cooper Rush.
Yeah, Rush. So, yeah, I'm not worried about it. And I don't think they improved. So I'm not really worried about this game. But it's always a tough game. Minnesota's a good team. People are down on Kirk Cousins, talk shit about him. I actually think Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback. I think he takes way more flack than he should. Out of all the quarterbacks who take shit, he's probably right underneath Dak. Dak probably takes a lot more heat than he should, and I would say Kirk Cousins probably takes more heat than he should. I'm not going to say I'm a big fan of Kirk Cousins, but I'm not on the side where I dog him out. I think he's a good quarterback. I think you can win with him. I don't, he's not Mahomes level, and he's not as good as Dak, but I think he's a good quarterback. So it won't be easy, but hey, I think we get the dub. Rika has as an L. So explain that, Miss Rika.
Stop calling me Rika, you stupid asshole.
I even got you in my phone as Rika, my new phone.
You're such a dick. Yeah, you know what? I put it down as an L. I gave it some thought. I was like, you know what? It's a road game. We're going to be coming off a big win in Green Bay. I think we're going to go in there like assholes. And I think Minnesota's going to get our number. They want some revenge. We've beat them 2 years in a row when we shouldn't have beat them with backup quarterbacks. Tavis and Steven were talking earlier about Detroit being a trap game for us. I think it's going to be Minnesota. I think people are, Minnesota's not that great. Kirk Cousins and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I think Minnesota's the trap game this year. Minnesota is going to hand us our ass. They're going to do to us what the Broncos did to us. Freaking Minnesota, man, with that stupid horn going off.
And for the people with Spotify and Apple, after the bye week, I mean, at the bye, I had them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had us at 5-2, and Rocket had us at 6-2, and Rocket had us at 6-2. Where in the fuck was the bye week? Yeah,
between Chicago and Green Bay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we both had them at 6-2 at the bye week.
LA is the only loss we agreed on thus far.
Yeah. Actually, I say Spotify. They actually do video now, so I'll probably upload it with video this time. But either way, for people on Apple,
that's just what the Spotify people want us to.
I haven't figured out the platforms yet and how to do all that shit. So I'm not even so sure if our show's even going on Apple yet or not. I having a hard time understanding all that shit. But
My name is Rika. This is my show. We don't know what the hell we're doing, but
yeah,
we're having a great time.
yeah, that's all. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I like I said, I think Minnesota. But I see your point. It could be a trap game. I mean, I guess not in today's NFL. There's not a lot of teams we could lose against that would shock me. I'd be pissed and bitching like we shouldn't lost that game, but
Right.
not overly like uh like back in '92, I think it was Cowboys lost to the Rams, and people always wonder why I probably bring old games up because and how I can
Because
remember
you're
them.
old.
Well, because how I remember them, but I got a good memory.
You
Contrary to
do
what
have a
people,
good
yeah,
memory.
my fucking memory is on fucking point. And
It is.
but I just remember watching that game, and I was so upset. Like that game, like really upset me. It's like that was a shit fucking team, and there was no reason. Now in today's NFL, with the cap and it's more even. It's not. It's like the top teams back then, Dallas and San Francisco. I even throw Buffalo and Miami in there. Teams like that. There was them. Then there was a secondary teams that like Green Bay before they went on their run. They had a chance to beat us. But then after that, it was shit. I mean, they was fucking horrible teams. Now it's not really a big gap in between all the teams. The difference between the top team and the bottom team is a lot closer nowadays than it was back in the 90s and even the early 2000s. Uh, but anyways, so this game wouldn't surprise me, but I think we'll get the W.
Yeah.
But it would be
You know
tough.
what?
This is back-to-back road games,
Right.
But we have a bye, and that's the main reason that bye going into back-to-back road games. I just feel like we'll regroup, take a breath, and like fucking go on that fucking run. That's what I feel. But you're right. It's
Yeah.
long trips up to Canada border. So I do get that. It's
Yeah, you know what? I want to talk for a minute about
go ahead.
Charlie's memory. Charlie will
Mhm.
start to tell me something and he'll be like, "Yeah." He'll be like, "You know what? It was like 1989. I think it was September the 14th, 1989, and I had on a blue shirt and I was driving with my friend Pat and we went to this restaurant and the girl who was like the hostess, she was like really ugly, but I was going to try to bang her anyway, except that we wanted a booth and all they had was tables, and then I was mad. So then we left and we went to this other place that had chicken that gave me food poisoning, and the hospital bill was $187.18. And that's like the story. And he'll tell me this stuff with like the greatest detail I've ever heard in my life. It's amazing what he remembers.
It's not that quite amazing, but it is. I can't. Speaking of Pat, like Pat and Butch, and a lot of people I grew up with, they used to always not make fun of me, but in a sense
Mhm.
that we'd be at a get together, cook off, or somebody all be getting drunk, and they're like, "Hey Charlie, what year did this happen?" And I'm like, that was July 1994.
You always tell me the year when you tell me
I
a
could tell
story.
I could tell the year and I could tell you the month,
Yes.
or at least close to a month. I
Always.
could tell you if it's spring, summer, winter, or
Mhm.
fall because I remember what I was wearing, where I was at, and shit like that. So, but yeah, no, I do. I fucking my
Great.
memory. For whatever, out of all the other bad shit about me, my memory isn't one of them, and I'm surprised at
Pretty
all the
amazing.
chemicals I put in my body over the years.
Yeah. Um, okay. So
On to the next
next
one.
we're looking at the New York Giants. Give me
Week
just a
12.
second.
Go ahead.
Hold up.
This is Thanksgiving. I'll go ahead and talk. Week 12, November 24th, Thursday on Fox at 3:30. We're going to get the New York Football Giants. Again, I had this as another W. I have us sweeping the Giants this year. Again, mostly because they're just not a good team. Plus, we get them at home on Thanksgiving Day, on Turkey Day. So, like I said, I really know games like this. I can't really go in depth on. My biggest point is we're just a better team, and we should win. There's no reason for us to lose this game. Besides, it's a division game, and fucking weird shit happens in division games. But simply put, we're a better team. We're at home. We'll win. That's about as much depth as I can go
Yeah.
into it.
You know, we're due for a win on Thanksgiving. I'm sick of these Thanksgiving losses, and I think that there's no reason that we can't beat the Giants on Thanksgiving. Manny thinks so too.
Well, I will say this. I had us on that 4-game winning streak, which is the reason why I had us losing against LA. There is that chance. There is that chance that we go into fucking Green Bay and beat them, go into fucking Minnesota, beat them. and then just have that 4 day of rest and just be high, high on them horses of going back to back road wins and have a letdown. But this is the thing: when you have a letdown against somebody like the Giants, it has to be a huge letdown for you to lose. You can even let down and still win that game. So, and whatchamacallit, uh, Jack mentioned it earlier. Not that this matters. RJ Choa, whatever his name is, that writes for the blog of the boys. He brought it up
Yes.
other day too. Last time the Giants and Cowboys played on Thanksgiving was '92, and he won the Super Bowl. That doesn't mean we're going to win the Super Bowl again, but yeah, I think it'd be a
It's a
good.
nice
I
piece of
think,
trivia.
yeah, but yeah, it's a good
I
piece of
always like
trivia,
a good positive piece of trivia like
and
that.
and I think even though they're a shit team, it's still a good division rival on Thanksgiving Day. It'd be an interesting game.
Mhm.
I wish they was a better team. I mean, well, not really because I want to win, but it if it was a better team, it'd be more hype around it. But hey, it is what it is. I think we get the dub, but they're on to the next one.
Yeah.
Week 13, December 4th, our first December game against the Colts on NBC prime time. I got
Yes.
this as an L. I think the Colts are going to be a lot better than they have been the past couple of years. I like uh, Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan does take a lot of flack like Cousin does, but he's a better quarterback than most people give him credit for.
Mhm.
I think he'll make that team better. He's better than Carson Wentz, and he's pretty good last year. If it wasn't for them choking against the Jags last year, they would have made the playoffs. He's better than Phillip Rivers was at the time Phillip Rivers was playing for him in 2020. So I think his weapons might be a little questionable, but overall, I think they're going to. I actually think they'll end up winning that division. To be honest with you, that's who I think they'll take over. Take over. I think they'll beat Tennessee, Jacksonville, and definitely Houston. And I think they'll have that fucking division. Again, I have us right now on a 5 game winning streak. So I can't have us win them all. I got to pick some games that we're going to lose. So this is one of the ones I picked. That's just, kind of because I had us on a 4 game winning streak. Now I have us on a 5 game winning streak. So you got to pick something. You got to have some losses in there.
Yeah. I had this is week 2 and what I predict is going to be a 5-week winning streak. I think we take the Colts.
All right. Well, there you go. Good thing about this year's schedule, there's not really no arguments. Like I can't really stand on no hill against you. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't say there's no way we're going to beat the Colts.
Mhm.
Or there's no way we'll lose to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Or no way we'll
And
beat the
and like I
Eagles.
said at the beginning, I mean, we get through training camp, we see these guys in preseason, we look at week 1, I sit down, I watch some games and I may be like, "Oh, you know what, Charlie? I changed my mind about the Colts, or I changed my mind about Detroit." But this is
Yeah,
was
this is
just
way too
gut
early
instinct
predictions.
schedule
Yeah, this
release,
is way too early.
you know.
Right after schedule release, everything changes.
Absolutely.
For the most part, before my preseason picks, like right before the season starts, it doesn't change that much from this. The only thing that will make it change won't necessarily be a play in the preseason because they don't really play their starters that much, anyways. It would be
Mhm.
injuries. Certain injuries, like say they lose Matt Ryan. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not going to have this as an L anymore.
Right.
I'm going to put that as a fucking win. Another thing is for anybody who's going to watch this, if I pick to lose, don't mean that I'm going to pull for them to lose. I remember on my Facebook group, every time I pick, every week I do my prediction time, and I pick us to lose, and people lose their shit,
Be
and
like,
I'm like,
"Positive
look,
vibes only. You're not
and
a
I'm like, man,
Cowboys
I can't.
fan."
I'm not. It's just because I pick us to lose doesn't mean that I don't. I watch the game and upset if we win, and it
Yeah.
doesn't mean
I want us
that,
to win. I'm just saying it's a long
and it
shot.
doesn't mean I'm upset if we lose if we lose the game. Like if we lose against the Eagles in LA, trust me, I'm going to be doing a show after them games, bitching and crying about play calling, the lack of defense or bad quarterback play or bad
Whatever
receiver
it
play or
was.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going to bitch. I mean, like even though I had us losing the game, I'm still going to bitch about it. I mean, I'm still going to be upset. So don't get y'all for JJ's hurt too much. Next week,
Oh,
week 14, December.
Stephen White has a question.
What's that?
Stephen, let me introduce you. This is Manny, and he was a gift from Charlie. Isn't he sweet? He is. He's my baby. My
Yeah,
little sweet puppy. I love him.
he's a good dog. He actually was
He
a
is a good
rehome.
dog.
He was a
Mwah.
rehome of a rehome. Real quick story. Don't want to bore y'all too much with this, but he lived in my mom's apartment complex. The lady that had him was an old lady. She went into a nursing home. He was left by himself. Had her daughter come over there every once in a while and feed him. Let him out. He'd always end up at my mom's house, and then she came back. Then she went back in the nursing home, and he wasn't getting fed like I thought he should get fed. He wasn't. They wasn't mistreating him. Don't think that. They just their moms in the nurse homes.
He
Dogs
likes
aren't.
love and
Yeah,
attention.
dogs aren't important to everybody like they are to me. And but I mean, so it said he wasn't skin and bones, but I just thought he needed to be a little bit more healthy. So he started coming back to my mom's house because he loved my mom's dogs. So I told my mom, talk to the lady and see if I can rehome him. And she said, yeah. So I found him a home on like 100 acres. She loved him, had 2 little Chihuahua friends, but her husband got sick. And so she got in touch with me and asked me would I want him back. So I took him back, and I had him for a little over a year when me and Rock met and started dating. And Rock asked me would it be okay if she took him, and I begrudgingly let her. I really didn't want to let him go because he was a cool little dog. But I'm stacked. I have at that time I had 8, so I had to fucking downsize. So and plus, I mean, he's with Rika, so it's not like I don't get to see him anymore.
Yeah. I'm just crazy about him, Steven. He's like my constant companion. I tell Charlie I don't the only time I leave him is on Saturday afternoon when I go to the grocery store.
Yeah. I
He's
rescue
with me.
dogs, so that's why I have so
Yeah,
many.
he's with me when I'm working. He's with me on the couch. He's sleeps in the bed with me. He is my buddy. I get in the car to go somewhere. I make sure it's like a drive-through place so that Manny can go. He always gets a treat whenever we go somewhere. He's the best little dog. I love him.
Yes, I love dogs, Steven. It's hard for me not to rescue all of them. Sometimes I feel like I need
Yeah.
to save all of them, but I can't.
Yeah.
Uh, I got another one right here sitting beside me. He's a big old 60-pound mix, and he had to get a toe removed. He was a rescue dog. I went in a vet to get my dog some flea medicine, and the lady had him in there. He had a messed up foot. And she said he looked like one of my other dogs. I was telling her about it. And she said she was thinking about putting him down. And I told her, nope, you're not putting him down. I'll take him. So I took him. And then I had to get a surgery. And as for donations, nobody donated except Eric Berger, my old co-host. He paid for the whole surgery, $200. So I always want to thank him for that. And now he's a toeless dog. He has one of his toes missing.
He's a cool dog though.
Eric's
He's a
going to
good
take
boy.
him if he buys a house. If he doesn't, I might try to find him a home, but that dude is so fucking good. He's not really a problem. I might just keep him. But either way, let's get back to football. Houston Texans,
Yeah.
noon on week 14, December 11th. I have this W. Rocket has this W.
Yep.
Quick background story on Texans. I fucking hate them.
Charlie's not a fan of the Co-Texans, y'all.
People always ask me, how can you hate the Texans? They're not division rival, AFC. Why? Well, this is why. I lived in the Houston area for most of my life. That's where I was born where I live now in Crockett, little East Texas town. But I went to school in Deer Park, which is southeast side of Houston, suburb. God damn. I can't even say that word tonight. But anyways, you know what I'm trying to say of Houston. And a lot of my friends down there were Texan fans, and it just got out of control. Going into the 2002 season, when they got their logo and everything, I actually was going to be a fan because I was an Oilers fan behind the Cowboys, of course. And so I was like, cool, Houston got another team I can cheer for, local team. I even bought a hat. Used to wear a Cowboys shirt and a Texan hat to work. And then 2002 rolled into like January, February that year. And I don't know what happened, but people cried out from underneath the rocks and did nothing but trash the Cowboys. The radio only had one station there at that time, 610. And I'm like, fuck it. I threw my hat away, never wore that hat again, and I've hated them ever since then. In fact, I have a Facebook group. Right now it's called Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. For a long time, it's called The Star. And when we got this podcast, I changed the name. But before it got changed to The Star, when I opened the group in 2013, it was called Texans Suck, Go Cowboys. That was the name of the group. My original purpose opened the group because every time I put something on Facebook, all my Texan fans would come hijack the post and start talking shit. So I created a group for me and my friends, basically my close friends and my Cowboy fans on Facebook, just a bullshit, and the group kind of fucking blew up and shit. So I ended up changing the name to the Star. Then once we got the podcast, I changed it to Dallas Cowboys Uncensored group. So if you want to follow us there, you can. But anyways, that's the background. Their team ain't good. I got it a W. Rocket has a W. I don't think Rocket needs to talk about this either. We're going to win this game. On to the next one. Week 15, December 18th, Sunday, 12 noon on Fox at the Jaguars. I have as a W, mostly because they're not a good team. It's just they're a young team. I think Doug Peterson. I'm not. I hated him as a coach because he was the Eagles, but I thought he's a pretty good coach. I think he'll do wonders for their quarterback and for their offense. But they're still young. I still think they got a lot of holes. This will be a couple 2-3 year process. We're just a better team. I think we'll go over there and we'll get the dub.
Absolutely.
All right. That was easy. Week 16, December 24th, New Year's Eve, Saturday.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah. What did I say? New Year's Eve? Yeah, Christmas. Yeah. I'm sorry. 3:25 start on Fox. The Eagles. We both got as a dub. It's at home. I picked them on the road because it was on the picked them to win on the road. The Eagles to win the first game because we was on the road. I'm saying it all backwards. And then but this one we're at home. I think we'll fucking get this one. Like I said, I think we're a better team. But which means I probably think I would have picked us to win the first one, but with the circumstances going into that game, I thought the Eagles could get that game. But this one, I don't see no way they're getting. I don't think they're cutting because if it happens like I think it will, and they get that dub against us, this will be a revenge game for us, and we'll take care of business in AT&T Stadium, and we'll do it. Rocket has a dub. You want to talk about it?
Oh yeah. See the thing that you have to know is this.
Man, come on. I had a rough night, and I hate the fucking Eagles. Man, come on. I had a rough night, and I hate the fucking Eagles.
I hate the fucking Eagles, man. I hate them. Sick of the Eagles and their crap. Sorry, Philly Notion. You're a good dude. Love you bunches. Your team sucks.
He's a fucking. Well, I'm going to say I ain't going to say that because if somebody tells me he's going to take it the wrong way. But when I say sometimes I say the dude's a fucking idiot, it doesn't always mean in a bad way. It means in a funny way. He's just hysterical. Yeah, so I'm not going to say that he's a funny guy. He cracks me up. So
he is.
He's one of the very few Eagle fans that I probably would actually do a collab with. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, in fact, he's the only one I know of that I would do a collab with.
Yeah, Notion's always fun. We're gonna have to, you know what? We'll get him on before one of these games. We'll get Notion on here. Yeah, because he is too fun to sit and talk to. Little hot mess is what he is.
All right, on to the next one. Week 17, December 29th, Thursday, 7:15 on Prime. Prime Amazon. That's what it is, right? Yeah.
Amazon Prime. Yep.
Amazon Prime. What the fuck here it is? But anyways, I got it as a W, and I just noticed that W and that L ain't lined up. But anyways, Rocket has it as an L. I was picky about that shit last night. That's why it took me so long to put this together, lining everything up to where it's even. I have it as a dub. It's at Tennessee, so it wouldn't surprise me if we went on the road and lost. But I think we're a better team. I think they downgraded as much as we downgraded. Well, let me back that up. I don't think we downgraded as much as people making it out to be. But I'm not really worried about the Titans. But I can see Rocket has an L, so that wouldn't surprise me. You want to explain that L?
Yeah, like I said before, gut instinct. Titans are a good team. They usually play very well during the second half of the season. From what I can remember, I didn't look at a stat sheet, but that's just the perception that I have of them. It's a road game, and yeah, I think on that one we're just gonna take the L.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to be a slaughter. I don't think it's going to be a bad game. I think it's just going to be one of those games.
Yeah, like I said earlier, there's no
good team on the road, end of the season. People hurt.
Yeah,
Shit
there's
happens.
no hills I can really stand on about our L's and our W's and argue too much about it. I mean, I can see every L that you gave us. I can see it. Like if you gave us L against Chicago, then I'd be like, all right, what the fuck are you doing here? What are you seeing here?
You crazy bitch.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
but
you?
what you gave the Vikings, the Bengals, the Rams, yeah,
Mhm.
and the Titans now, yeah, they're they're all playoff team. The Vikings was it? But yeah, no, I can see that. Yeah. On to the week 18, last game of the year. Week 18, January 7th or 8th, time to be announced. Some people have it as the 8th, others have it 7th or 8th. So I don't really know what the fuck's going on there. So I put 7th or 8th.
Mhm.
It's at Washington. We both
Right.
have as an L. I'm going to assume Raka is going to do it the same reason I did. I think we'll have
Resting
everything wrapped
starters.
up like
Yeah.
we did last year. I think we'll have everything wrapped up. And even if we play our starters, I think it'll be limited.
Hmm.
I don't see us, you know, winning that game because of that, uh, no, or they might have everything wrapped up as far as sucking, and they don't play their starters either, or they might have a chance at the wild card, shit. So I don't know how they'll do it there. So I have no clue what their season's going
Yeah.
to be like.
It's on the road. It's on the East Coast. It's gonna be cold out there. We had the bullshit in Washington last year with those damn heated benches. I'm sure we'll have to bring our own benches again. And Jerry is so damn extra. Love him. And so I feel like at that point we're probably gonna be resting starters unless we're really looking hard at like some seating that we desperately want. Um, it's probably going to be one of those games there in Maryland. It's going to be cold. It's going to be snowy. Uh, I don't see any reason to go out there and hurt some people that we're going to need a week or 2 weeks later in a playoff situation. So I'm just going to take the L on that one. And it's 12-5 on the season.
Yep. For people who can't see it, I got them at 13-4. Rocket has them at 12-5. Not a huge difference there. This is the thing. Other day in the chat, I was talking about if I was pessimistic, I would have us at 11-6. If I was optimistic, I'd have us at 13-4, which means I'm probably going to go somewhere 12-4. I mean 12-5. Go in between. That's how I usually do it every year. Every year I pick, what's our best case scenario, what's our worst case scenario, and usually they're only a game apart. If I have best case scenario at 11-6, worst case at 9-8, I want to pick 10-7. I want to pick in the middle. But this year, when I did the schedule, when I was doing this graph last night, when I was doing the slideshow, I saw I had 13 wins, and I was like, well, fuck. I was like, that's really optimistic for me. So I went back and tried to find a game like I was going to change my Bengals pick. It put it as L just to get me to 12-5. And I thought, you know what, fuck that. I'm going to go with this 13-4. So that's like I said, optimistic, yes. But even if I was pessimistic, I would still have us 11-6. Could I see 10-7? Well, fuck, I could see 7-10. I mean, if you really want me to fucking go through the schedule and just be a total dick and go doom and gloom on everything, but yeah, I can 13-4. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
So
So I just wanted to touch on the rookie minicamp just a little bit. I had to scroll way back. DJ Dog said about an hour ago, Broadus reported that 73 and 95 are really going at it.
I
In
didn't see
the
that. That was first. He
first
said
practice, that was
first
Tyler
practice was
Smith.
yesterday, and I did read up on some things and watch some videos after the practice and shit, and I
Hmm.
didn't hear about that. So maybe it was the day first practice that they
Maybe
maybe
today.
I don't know, but I didn't hear it. Now with that said,
Hey,
I'm
alley
not I'm
cat.
not I'm not saying it ain't true. I'm
Hmm.
just saying I didn't hear it. Plus, I haven't been on the net too much today,
Right.
so I don't get on
Rookie.
Twitter as much as other people do. Like
Yeah, I
I
don't get
just
as jacked up about rookie mini camp as I do about training camp. I mean, it's just that they're It's low contact. It's just kind of a get to know you type of situation. I do like coming out of there. I want to talk about Sam Williams just a little bit. McCarthy saying that, he looks like a guy that was born to play professional football. Um, the physical traits, the gifts are there. I'm excited about Sam Williams. He's kind of become like my favorite draft pick this last year. 12 sacks and 16 tackles for loss his last season at Ole Miss. And for me, if, I'm Dan Quinn and company and they do their job very well, I think watching him this year is going to be absolutely tremendous. And I really hope that they've got that we get to see some of those packages. I'd like to see Sam Williams on one end, bookends with Micah Parsons. Let's stick D Law in the middle right there. I think that's going to be amazing. So I'm excited about Sam Williams. And I mentioned this at the top of the show. I'm going to mention it again. Me add a slide up here, take Charlie's down. So rookie numbers are out. Tyler Smith 73. Sam Williams has chosen number 54. Listen up, guys. If you've got an extremely irrelevant Jaylen Smith jersey in the back of your closet. They were irrelevant when you bought it, and it's more irrelevant now. But save yourself some coin. Go over to Twitter, follow at Stitch and Switch, and it's Stitch letter N Switch. Their company website is in their bio. They're a really neat company. You contact them, you place your order, mail them your jersey. They're going to pull off that Jaylen Smith nameplate on the back. They're going to put on Williams, send it back to you, fraction of the cost of a brand new jersey, and you're decked out Sam Williams, ready to go. Inflation's a bitch, man. Food prices, gas prices. Save yourself some cash and recycle that jersey. Keep Jaylen Smith out of the landfill, people. It's the right thing to do. So, I've reached out to Stitch and Switch. I'm gonna see if I can't get you guys a coupon code for that. If I do, I will let you know. Help you save even a little bit more. So we had that to cover tonight. And going through my notes, I think that's about it. We've got a few people left to sign: Sam Williams, Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson. See what happens there. Um, so just need to get those guys signed, and then we are really going to be rolling over here in Cowboys Nation. It's going to be a great season. I'm excited for it. Little bit of sad news coming out. We've got a missing person. Listen up, Cowboys Nation. DeLunatic is missing. I have been looking for DeLunatic for weeks. If you're watching this on Spotify, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, he looks like this star picture right here. His name is DeLunatic. You find him, you contact me, you contact Elazar Mendoza. Let us know. There's a few scenarios. At first, I was worried he got deported, but then I remember Trump's not president anymore. So he's probably still in the United States. There's a chance that he's on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard jury, in which case he's probably going to tell us some good stuff when he gets back. My worst fear, though, is that he is on the lam with a female jailer from Alabama. So if you see this chick, let her know we want the lunatic back. Looking for that guy everywhere. So, missing my friend.
Well, I haven't seen him. Like I said, I'm on a MCF, my Cowboys family show. Not every week. Well, I say every week. They do more show than one a week. But so I might be on there once a week. But I haven't seen him on there either. And I know he's on there a lot. He does a lot of giveaways and shit on there. So and I haven't seen him.
Lunatic's the best. It's my buddy. I miss him. All right, guys. We're just a little over an hour. It's probably about time to get on out of here. If you haven't already, please do me a favor on your way out. Hit that like button. If you're watching here on YouTube, hit subscribe. Ring that notification bell. This summer, we're going to be on the road to 1,000. We're getting awfully dang close, except we keep losing subs because Charlie sucks so bad. Hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So don't forget, come follow us on social media. You can find me at Chains Moving. You can get Charlie at Dallas. What is it? At Dallas Cowboys U1. over on
What?
Twitter. You can
Oh,
find us
yeah.
on
All you gotta do is type in
Facebook.
Dallas Cowboys Uncensored over, and you'll get us. Except Facebook. Facebook, if you type that in, I don't know what you're going to fucking get. Facebook is Cowboys Uncensored. Just leave Dallas
Yep.
out of it. Just go Cowboys Uncensored.
You can
Everywhere
find me on
else,
Facebook, Rag Moves the Chains, Instagram. Come find me, follow, friends, say hey to me, send me a message. Don't make it anything inappropriate. All right, guys, it's been a great show. I think we'll be back next Saturday. Maybe I'll give that some thought. You'll see me back if I'm not here next Saturday in the next couple weeks. Off season, sometimes there's not much to say, and I'm kind of lazy. But thank you, Stephen White, for tuning in. Thank you, DJ Dog, Jack Meeker, everybody. Have a great night, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
peace out. Later, y'all.